Hey, everybody. I am so glad to be back in front of you. We have one of our fantastic sponsors coming up for the EP Mixer Los Angeles. And I'm thrilled to bring our sponsor on. When I called her and said, "Hey, listen, here's what we're doing," she jumped on, she like right on board. And so I'm so grateful for that. We have, like I said, a sponsor from Los Angeles, but not really from Los Angeles. And we're going to hear a little bit more about that. Is Sola Engstrom from Sola, founder of, CEO, and all the hats. Sola Engstrom from Sola Protection, based in Los Angeles. Sola, thank you so much for being here. So happy to have you involved in this mixer.
Thank you, Craig. Thank you for having me. I
It is,
appreciate it.
it's 100% my pleasure. I've enjoyed, even, I mean, it was short lived, but our conversation that we had right before we jumped on, um, you're pleasant. You're just nice to talk to. I enjoyed those very few minutes that we had just before we started recording. So thank you, for
Thank
doing
you.
that. Um, but hey, listen, you're an entrepreneur, right? And we're going to talk a little bit more about that. And so I'm sure you have other things to do during your day. So let's go ahead and get started. Can you just tell us, about solar protection? Maybe a little bit how you started. Um, you know, whatever you want, whatever is important to for our listeners to hear. Please, let's hear it from you first.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
Solar protection was kind of born on the business plan in 2017.
Okay.
I'm from Norway originally, and I went on the vacation to Los Angeles in 2016. Basically, just because I was a huge fan of Goldstream and the Muscle Beach and
Okay.
mecca of bodybuilding was the reason why I wanted to visit the first time.
Sure.
But then I fell in love with the place, and I just wanted to find a way that I could move and work here. So yeah, a lot of work with business plan, with lawyers, and all that you need to have in order to
Mhm.
move. Was It took me about, I had the papers and everything set up in January 2019.
Okay. All right.
And Solar Protection was supposed to be a company that could provide female agents. When I was traveling back and forth a little bit, I contacted many security companies in the area, and I asked if they were in a need of female agents, because I wanted to apply for a job and maybe get a sponsorship that way.
Mm-hmm.
And they said, we need it. We need it all the time. The clients are asking for it. But
Yeah.
they were not having anything full time, so they could not do any sponsorship or anything. So, and then I was thinking, if every security company is so positive and are in the need of one, maybe I should just start my own and offer offer the service.
Yeah.
So that's basically what I did. So here I am
Yeah.
working working as a female agent with I mostly do 1099 with other companies. It's not as easy as I was hoping it would be. Of course, it's never easy.
Yeah.
So it's a growing thing for females, absolutely. Thank God. And those few good female agents in California, they are busy. So I have a list of names with female agents that I provide if other companies contact me or clients contact me. It's hard to make it fit everywhere, but it's that's how I try. I do my best all the time.
Yeah. Well, and you're right. And it's nice to hear that because you will hear it. We hear that we're in need of female agents. And I've run across a number of women that are in the industry that, some are like, and it feels like that you're either in it, or the ladies are in it, or they're struggling, like, to do this work, right? To do EP. um, like they might have another job or they might be doing something else, but it's like, I want to do this, but it's like I can't break in,
Exactly.
and so I don't. So I mean, let that be let you be a beacon, right? Of like, hey, listen, if because also too, like, you're gonna, I would assume that there'd be some level of assistance, and not like, hey, I'm going to do stuff for you, but hey, get your resume together, do this, that like, I'm looking for, what kind of training, and being able to speak pretty pretty well, I very knowledgeably, not pretty knowledgeably, very knowledgeably about how what it takes to get there, right?
Mm.
Like you started a you're an entrepreneur. um English is a second language, as we talked
Yes.
about, but you're doing great. um there's all these other things that you're coming from another country, like all these other things that you have dealt with, and it's like, here you are, you're doing work.
Mm. Mm.
You took the time to kind of figure it out, so it's like, I think that's a pretty big. So any ladies listening to this, please, there's room and there's desire to have you in the industry. And figuring out how you best fit into it might take some time and some work. But
Mm.
I mean, clearly it can be done, and it's like I said, it's being people are looking for it, companies are looking for it. So it
Mm.
might be a non-traditional how they're
It's
doing it,
so,
right? You did it
yes.
non-traditionally. I'm not going to get a job, start my own company. Oh, okay, there you
Mm.
go. So that's
And
nice. I
it's
like
so
to hear.
much word of mouth. And I think as soon as you prove yourself and you do a good job, you deliver. That's for everyone, even you're male or female, right?
Sure.
So people, yeah, when you get the ball rolling,
Mhm.
to people know you're there, you're available when people ask, even if not EP, it's just to fill in a shift, RST,
Sure.
whatever.
Yeah.
I moved, COVID just hit, so I had a bumpy start with
Right.
starting
Sure.
lockdown.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it gave me time to learn more and to meet people and work. I started RST just to learn, because security in United States, obviously it's different from from Norway.
Sure.
So I knew, from the beginning, that this will take time. So be patient. Just as long as you have the goal and you have a vision, yeah, just work on it.
It's what, and somebody say, all right, listen to other entrepreneurs, and they're like, it's patient. Like, you have to have patience for I don't want to say the process, because the process doesn't always work the way that you feel like it should, but patience in the results, but hustle in the work, and getting there. So it's like, it's every day. It's either it's training, or in your case, it's business development, it's branding, it's marketing, it's getting out there, networking, sponsoring events. In this case, there's
Mm,
just more. There's always something to do to make
mm,
yourself more accessible, and easier to use,
mm,
for fill in an RST, EP, driver, whatever,
mm.
and then just picking up things that aren't EP along the way, right? I mean, like we just
Yeah,
talked about it, and doing
that's
picking up
how
some
you meet
event work.
people. Yeah.
Yeah, that's good. So however much you want to talk about this is really up to you, but um, you are a fitness competitor, and I'll let you tell about that if you want to. You're an entrepreneur. You're an EP specialist. How is that? How has having all that kind of in your background, amongst all the other things that we haven't talked about, or probably won't today? How's that helped or shaped your approach to discipline and professionalism for all of it? Like, is it up at 6 or up at 5 every day, and work out, and then calls, and then, I mean, like, how do you go through a day? How does it, like I said, how does it shape your discipline and your professionalism?
Yeah, I'm so grateful what I have learned during the that process, or that, yeah. It's been my passion and hobby for 30 years. I've always been into sports, but I really started lifting weights when I was 17, 18. um, and it has learned me or taught me so much about, yeah, discipline, and things takes time. You have to work, you have bad days, you stick to your plan, you do it anyway.
Hmm.
The focus, um, the manifestation, the mental, I mean, bodybuilding or fitness is so much mental thing. So it's not like a glit and glam on the stage that you see. That's the 1 day, 5 minutes.
Yeah.
It's sweat, tears, and it's never giving up mentality. It's
Hmm.
and knowing that things are painful, but when things are painful, you grow. That's how life is in everything.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. And if you sometimes if you're aware enough, you can say, and it's funny because my wife, I hear my wife say this, and we've talked about it, where she says, um, it's like this is one of those times. Like I I don't feel good. I'm like I can't get anybody on the phone, or I can't get anybody to contact me, or this meeting went bad, and it's just like I just want to lay down like for the next day. And it's like, well, you can't really do that because X, Y, and Z. And he said, you might not have the best workout, or your day might not go to plan, but it's just, you got to push through it. And if you're aware enough, you can say, this is one of those times. This is where I'm growing. Like, I know that I've grown, but these situations, or this one right here, is what causes me to go to the next, what levels me up, or what
Mm.
brings me through, or what a break, whatever it is, however you term it. But there's a lot of work, and a lot, and I don't want to say a lot of bad days, but enough bad days. It's like you can't stop every time that's going to happen, right?
No.
And you're living testament to that of you know um
And I think I
like
have a
the
little bit of a funny story about my work ethic that
please.
I see now how it has shaped me. I grew up on a farm in Norway, and my big thing was horses when I was a kid.
Okay.
And my mom once told me that I was okay. I could buy my own horse if I was able to earn the money. So that's how I realized that work, as long as you work and you have that as a goal,
Hmm.
not giving up, you put in the work and you do it. And at
Yeah.
the end of it, I got my horse, and
Yeah.
yeah,
And it has to be a big enough goal, right? It has to be a
yes.
big enough goal to reach for, to pull you through every day, which is
Mm.
sometimes it's hard to say because it's like, oh, I'm an adult. I want to be realistic. You were a kid. I want to buy a horse. Like,
Of course.
okay, made perfect sense to you.
Mm.
And then you went and did it. So it's like that's sometimes I think what it takes is a big enough goal. Simon Sinek talks about that, having a big enough just cause to go through the things that you're going to have to go through to get to whatever that's going to be. And maybe you
Mm.
realize it, maybe you don't, but does it keep you going? And
Mm.
until you accomplish that, and then you set another one, and then another one, and another one, you keep it going. So that's fantastic.
Yeah.
So with with your experience and kind of all the things that you've done, how has network, especially within the industry, how has networking influenced your career and the opportunities you've been able to create for yourself?
For me, it has been everything. I went to the first EP conference before I moved, when I was still on a ESTA visa,
Okay.
uh, in Vegas, and
Hmm.
I met people. I met security company owners. We were not many females, excuse me, of
Yeah.
course. Um, so I, the next time I went to the conference, they remembered me and asked how it went with my sorry,
It's
with
okay.
my plan, and if I was able to work. And yeah, it's been everything. I think of every job that I've had is because I met someone who knows someone who are in the need, or I met a company owner who got a request. And yeah, I think that's been everything to me.
Yeah. Well, you said it earlier, and when we were talking, it was it's a lot of word of mouth, and
Yeah.
that's, I mean, that's really what. Now, don't get me wrong. It's that it was like you just kind of described, somebody knew someone that was in need, right? And so that's a word of mouth kind of thing. But you connected with them, with the the go between
Mm.
at some other point, whether it was at the close protection conference or out on a job. I mean, how often does that happen? Is like you run into people out on a job, and sometimes it's not. It's a quick conversation, or it's almost transactional. Hey, you got a
Mm.
card? Yeah, give me your card. And then you do maybe you follow up afterwards
Mm.
when you're not in the middle of work, and when you can concentrate on having a conversation with somebody else. But that's where it happens a lot, is just grabbing cards. And so let me say this. I, outside of the initial contact, business cards aren't used for a whole lot. right? I mean, you get them, you have initial information, but that's what can get the ball rolling. Outside of them seeing you at work, then now they have your information and you have theirs, and now
Mm,
it's time to now the work of network comes together of like getting in front of that other person or however that shakes out. So,
mm.
but
Yeah, I think it doesn't matter how perfect your website is if you don't know someone.
mm-hmm, mm-hmm,
Yeah, it's,
mm-hmm.
get out there. That's my
Yeah,
my
if you have to be out there, like you said, I don't think you said something along the lines. I don't think I've gotten a job that didn't essentially come through somebody or through a relationship or a connection. Um, and which as you were saying that, I'm thinking she hasn't optimized her SEO. She hasn't done maybe done keywords on her, or maybe you have, but like you haven't talked about that. Oh, got to have the best website out there, and it's got to tell. Sure, you have a website out there. It tells a story, gives some information, but it's going to come, especially when you get into executive protection, the desire to know who you are dealing with,
Mm,
it multiplies exponentially because of the confidentiality that may be required. Um,
yes.
like the because like the company that you work for, not or that you 1099 with, they might know you, but they're going to be able they're going to need to be able to translate that to the potential principal.
Mm,
Like and that may be what it is, and a website doesn't tell them that. You tell them that your
it's so
personality, the
much,
conversation. Yeah.
it's so much about how you present yourself and how you, yeah, just your personality. That's my personal opinion that I think EP is a lot about your personality if you're succeeding or not.
Hmm. Sure.
Yeah,
Yeah.
how
We
you
don't talk about that enough.
yeah.
That's a thing. It's like I got all these skills and that's great, but it's like how do you get along with one, the principal, right?
Mm,
Two, the rest, the company you work for or the your surrounding staff, right? And then the support staff and the people that are out that you had like on and on. You could do this like if you can't do that, I don't
yeah.
know how to help you.
No.
So anyway, but you can gain those skills when you go out and do it a lot, go out and network a lot, talk to a lot of people and see how they do it. And then
Yes.
kind of craft your own approach to it because you have to be authentic to yourself. You
Mm,
can't be something that you're not because eventually that will show through.
mm,
And that may or may not work for whomever you're working for, whether it's the company or the team or the principal or whatever. So
yeah. Yeah.
yeah. Well, so you've done, obviously you've been putting in the work. You continue to, both for your profession, for your other profession and your pro card. You're an entrepreneur. Like you're continuously doing the work. What inspired you to sponsor, outside of me, calling you and said, "Hey, here's what we're doing." What made you decide that you wanted to support a mixer for the EP community and what so that's one part, like why, and then what do you hope that the participants that are the attendees, the other sponsors, things like that, what do you hope they gain out of this mixer?
First of all, I wanna thank you for having the EP mixer in LA. Finally, it's
Oh, finally, everybody, no, I get it. No, I
yeah,
understand.
yeah. No, but it's such a great opportunity to meet the people in the area, to meet people, to meet new people and old people to connect. And yeah, I wanted to be a sponsor because I want to give this opportunity to other people too, to make it happen.
Awesome.
It's a win-win for everyone, I think, for me, for you, or for, yeah,
Yeah.
it's nothing but good stuff.
Yeah, well, and I thank you for saying that because it is a win. I mean, it's a win for me in that I any shred of success I've had, I feel like has come through networking somehow.
Mm,
I lived in Vegas for over a decade, and a lot of the times of moving up or sliding into this spot, even non security related, let alone EP, always came from having met somebody, making a connection, not a contact, but a connection. Like, I know
mm,
that person, or they know me, and here's how they know me, and things like that. So it's a win for me when I get to see a room full of because that room gets loud. Like I mean,
yeah.
it's a loud room of conversations that people are having about whatever. They're looking for work, they're looking for help, they're talking about they're talking about new trends, they're talking about whatever, other companies that are coming out, new tool, just there's so much going on in that room. And
Mm.
that is a win. And then, like you say, the other people that are coming in, just depending on what you're looking for, right?
Yeah.
What is it that you want to accomplish when you're going to? So go into it with goals, right? I want to meet
Mm.
X number of people. I want to have X number of conversations. I want to collect, 15 business cards, not just to put them into my marketing machine, but that I actually connected with or I'm going to connect with into the future.
Yes.
So
Yeah,
those are
that's
all important things.
I want to mention. Just after you have met people and got the business card, reach out to them not too long after to just remind that I'm still here and it was a pleasure to meet you. And yeah,
Yeah.
keep the contact, stay in touch with
the
people.
Keep the conversation going, and
Yeah.
that's the follow up, and that's the again that's the work.
Mm.
There's a saying that the founder of a big networking organization, an international organization, it's called BNI. The founder's name Ivan Misner started there in Southern California, and he's big on saying, well, it's not net sit, it's not net eat, it's net
Mm.
work. And
Yeah.
so the work is in the follow up, and that's I beat people over the head with that. So anyway,
Yeah.
um, we're coming up on time. And again, as a busy entrepreneur, I know that you have other things to do, or you got to hit the gym, or I know you have some place to be, wherever that might be. So, for anybody who's listening, where can they learn more about you or learn more about Sola Protection?
I have a webpage, solaprotection.com. You can check it out. You can always hook me up on LinkedIn too, Sola Engstrom. Reach out to me, and hopefully I can see you at the EP Mixer networking event.
Appreciate that. Good. So thank you so much for being here. Thank you for taking the time. Thank you for sponsoring. I'm so pleased that you're part of this, and really happy. And I feel really good. It makes me feel good inside that, like, when I reached out to say, hey, listen, I'm looking at doing this. Are you interested in being part of it? And you were like, yeah. Like, it wasn't even yeah, let's go. So thank you for doing that.
Thank you for having me, Craig, and thank you for doing this again. I
My
look forward to it.
My pleasure. Yeah, for sure. So, here we go. We're back at it again. EP Mixer, Los Angeles, Thursday, November 7th, from 7 to 9:30 p.m. at the Nickel Mine in Los Angeles. It's right on Santa Monica Boulevard. If you've not registered, please go register. epmixer.com. Fill out everything you'll get followed up with. We'll talk to you, and we'll see you in LA. That's all I got. Hope you have a great one, and I'll talk to you real soon.